Okay, welcome to CAPCUT. I have a few problems which I cannot explain, and of course this is something that the developers can look into if they wish to, but I've already highlighted several issues, one of which was the other day when we were talking about audio clips and being able to reverse the actual direction of the sound. Now I've come across this other problem today because I'm developing an intro, and it's gone wrong. I don't know why. So here's my intro. Now what's I've done here is a little intro box, this one here, which obviously you can edit up here, various things. This was a an effect, I think. Was it? No, it was a was it a text effect? No, not an effect. It was a template. Yes, it was a template, and it was this one here, beach volleyball. So I've dragged that down, and I've put it on there, and I've changed all the colouring and the size and the font, and I've put on there, I've got a shadow, and on the other one, this one, I've obviously made it purple and made it into a curve. So, you know, amended everything how I like it. Now, I had it over here in the corner originally, and I couldn't move it back. I wanted to move it into the middle because I changed my mind, but it just will not move. So what I did was I copied it and I pasted it there. Now that I can move around there. So I'll put that in the middle. Let's see, there, halfway. We've got halfway there. So it's in the centre, and of course if you play it, perfect. It's probably a bit high, so bring that down a little bit. There. So it's perfect. So then I deleted the original, delete that, and then bring that over here. And of course you would expect that you would get that in the centre of the screen. And this is what happens. So you get the original, which was over here, and my new one. Okay, so continuing with what's wrong with this application, CAPCUT. It's the thumbnail editor, which is doing my head in, really annoying me. You can't rewind that because now I've done it. So what you have to do is save it and go out. What I've been trying to do is edit this text on this screen. So this here, been trying to edit that. It won't let me do it. Every time I try to ungroup, I have to ungroup it. You can't edit the actual words. It's not going to let you do it, and it's actually locked as well. I locked it, but let me unlock it and then have a go, and it's not going to let me do it. It's going to let me move the whatever box that is. I don't know what that box is there. Maybe I can delete that. Oh, that's the background. Didn't really want to do that, so I've got no idea why. But that's an orange box, but actually the orange box is in the background. So apparently this is on the online version, because I have saved on my other video. I saved some text and everything into the brand kit here. So I saved this, but apparently this is because that was created with a desktop version, and this is online. So I don't know how I got online. Again, it's a problem because what's the point of being able to save it if you can't use it? So I wanted to put this on here, but I can't because it's not letting you do it. It will let you do that one, I think. No? Yes. So it'll let you do that one, but it won't let you do the other ones. This thumbnail editor is really, really bad. It's got some good features, but it's really, really bad. It does that. See? That is what I didn't want it to do. But when you move a graphic, it will put it into the background unless you've locked it. So this one here, lock. You can't lock the background, but you can now, and then of course it goes into that particular graphic. As you can see, that's put it into a huge layer on top. So there's no easy way of doing this. You have to select it and then edit the text. There's no sort of easy version. I just want black. Not sure this is like an editable box. Stroke is that. Colour I want is black. Well, that's not really black, is it? It's about as best you're going to get. And then you can't really see it, so you have to do more clicks. And then, of course, it doesn't move. The cursor won't move. So something like that. Obviously, that picture is not very good. Not very clear. But the idea, go back there, get this logo. You have to remove, I don't know why, but this is a transparent GIF and it's not transparent. So you have to actually physically remove the background. And that is essentially when you're making a thumbnail to be used in the program. This video is all about CAPCUT and the issues I've had, and the point of the video is not to bash it, not to really have a go, but to have constructive criticism, and hopefully if CAPCUT can fix these problems, because they are problems and they are very, very annoying. And here's one of them, which is when you load up the program, you end up with all your projects on one page in the order that you've done them. There's no other way of doing this. You can't reorder them and have them banked together. Like, for example, I have a blank and I have a blank, which means that these are files I've set up that I can then just use the link here and duplicate, and I can then have a blank to use from scratch instead of having to reinvent the wheel every time you create a project. You have to copy the files over. I use files, I use them in every single project, so I want them there. There's no other way of doing it, really, to be honest with you. So the idea is to have a project that you can just copy and then basically use that to create a new program, a new project. Now, when you order them, they come in this order. This is order of making. And of course, there's only one way of doing it, and that's a list. You can't even reorder the list. You can't even have them in alphabetical order. So that's very, very annoying. Obviously, you can select them and things like this, but what's the point of that except to delete them? And I don't really want to delete them, but I want to have maybe rename these and have them blank. I want all the blank ones together, or I want all of this series here, I want them together. I don't want them separated. As you can see, there's some of them are down here, some of them are up here. It's a little bit annoying because you only have two options, and that is the grid which is this one, or not. Anyway, so that's the first thing. Second thing, when we go into here, this is a project I was working on to show you the various problems. And you can see that it's just a very basic thing that I've set up. We've got some video files, and we've got this one here, which is a overlay, and some titles. Intro. These titles are actually saved in the area on your. You have a particular area. These are called presets, and they are to do with your space. This is a space that you are given. There's two. There's one which is 5 megabytes, which you get by default, and then there's 100, which you get when you pay. And I have paid for the pro version of this because I wanted some of the other aspects of the program, and they weren't available. So they are stored online. So these are all things that I use regularly, and of course I've set them up, and I can save them there, and I can just drag them down when I'm using a project. So that's quite useful. But other aspect of this, where is my brand space? Because you can save things to a brand space. Where is it? You can't really find it on the PC version of this. So I don't know where they're located. In the effects department. In the text department. These are text templates that are offered. If you save them, if you want to save it, so for example, here are my favorites that I have tagged. So in my list here, I've gone through and I've clicked the star. And of course, they then appear in my favorites. But you can also then, obviously, when you have a text item, over here you can save it as a preset. So you can do all the changes, change colour, whatever, font and everything, and it will save as a preset, text preset. But it goes into your brand account. Where is it? There's no way to see your brand account. I'm presuming that the brand account is these items here in the preset, but there's no way to change this and see them separately. There's no separate item where you can go. There's no place where you can go, like a template. So I made this as a title. Okay, welcome to CAPCUT. I have a few problems which I cannot explain, and of course this is something that the developers can look into if they wish to. But I've already highlighted several issues, one of which was the other day when we were talking about audio clips and being able to reverse the actual direction of the sound. Yeah. You can't do it if it's just a clip audio. Right. You have to attach that clip to a video clip, and then of course you can reverse it. Yeah, so that was the next one, which was I was trying to reverse a video audio clip, and as you can see with this, so I had this swoosh, and I wanted to copy it and then make it into a reverse, but it's impossible. At the moment it's impossible. Now the process is, you take your clip and you have to attach it to a video file. So this is a video file. So we will attach that. Then you have to create a compound clip, which we will do. So it puts it into one, and then you can then you can go up here onto this menu and you can reverse it. So that will reverse and it will play backwards, right? So let me just undo. Now you'll see here that this is an audio clip. There is no option. You cannot reverse it. This is a video clip with no audio. You can't reverse it, but the option is there. This is a video clip with audio. You can reverse it. That's a problem for me. What's the point of that? I don't see the point of being able to have to attach it to something else. Anyway, that's the problem. So my other major problem is this timeline here, and it must be something to do with these here. These buttons here are snapping, so turn that off, and when you move something it doesn't snap back to this position. But that only applies to this one track. It does not apply to any other track, and I tend to use multiple tracks. That's a problem for me, because if I cut something here, let's cut this into, right, cut this one here. Now if I delete this, I'll tell you what we'll do is we'll cut this as well. Cut. Now what I would expect if I was here, if I delete this, then everything here will move up to there, right? And I would expect that this cursor would move to here, but it doesn't. That's one problem. And two, this timeline here will be, this track will become out of sync with everything else. That is a problem, because if you have various graphics, we're going to delete this, so boom, it moves everything along. It hasn't removed that. It hasn't moved it, but it also hasn't removed it. Let me undo, and what I'll do is I will highlight both, right? I will highlight both, that one and that one. Now it will delete, but it hasn't moved that along to here. I would expect the cursor to move back to the beginning, logically, and maybe I'm wrong, but I find it very annoying that you have to then try and scroll back to find out where you were here. It's very, very annoying. So if I put that in there, boom, it will move everything along and everything is hunky-dory. Now I want to put my cursor here. I want to delete this. Watch what happens. Boom, everything moves along, including the text, but the cursor doesn't move. Let's scroll that out, make it bigger to there, put the cursor at the end. Now what happens is, if it's on the end and you click the button, boom, it moves the cursor. So clearly it can be done. And this is the story about the UK visa that's Rishi Sunak, and it plays, put the prices up. There is no way to stop that box from coming up. I don't want that box. I don't want any more after I've blended. I want to be able to just get on with my life, not have to go into it and click the cancel button. Some people may find it useful, but then why is there not an option? Because on the settings button there is no option. You cannot say I don't want it. Transparency is also annoying. This graphic here, logo, you have to remove, I don't know why, but this is a transparent GIF, and it's not transparent. This is PNG. You have to actually physically remove the background. It's already got no background, but you have to do it yourself again. Now there is a major problem with the thumbnail editor, because that is really, really poorly made. So this GIF actually is showing as being black background, but it's actually transparent, and I have actually removed the background from it. So I don't know why it suddenly appears as black. Another problem here we have is the when you have two tracks joined together by a group and you split. Now what you would think logically is that you could be able to click on just the end two because you've split, but no, if I delete that now it will delete everything. I cannot move that either, because one logically would think that you could move just the end, but what you have to do is ungroup the end, ungroup, and then regroup in order to either move it or delete it, which is a pain in the backside. The other thing is that when you delete something, for example, if I split this and I want to be able to delete something here, so bear in mind that you are going to have to ungroup it anyway. So let's ungroup that. It will not move your cursor, so the cursor will be there. If I delete these two, if I delete them, normally what would happen is the cursor would move to the beginning of the delete, but it doesn't move. So again, that is very annoying, especially when you've deleted something, a long piece, and then you want it to move back to the beginning of the actual clip. So here it won't move, so it's very, very annoying. So here is the example of where you put something in or remove it, either way. I put something in here and it hasn't moved everything else across. You then have to highlight everything and move it manually to the correct position, which is quite difficult when you've done a lot of editing. And of course you don't want to miss anything out, because obviously we have that in the correct place. But you can see that's a problem. It doesn't do any of the other tracks, or you're editing, you've done a final cut and you think, I don't want this bit in here, I don't want this bit anymore, so you think you can delete that, but then you have to spend ages trying to remove. You have to delete this, cut this here, and then move everything, all of this other stuff, move it across. And that to me is not the same as Vegas, because Vegas will do all the tracks for you, not just this main track. Annoying things about CAPCUT that need to be fixed, because it is a really good program, but it's just really, really annoying and doing my head in. Thanks for watching. Hope you can help out with CAPCUT and sort this out, because I am a big fan, and as you can see I've done a lot of projects and I am very happy with all of them. So thank you, and goodbye.